Hello and welcome to Campus to Community, the Columbia Basin College news magazine, to keep you informed of what's happening at CBC and how we might better serve you. With us today, we have a new professor of communications at Columbia Basin College, Aaron Donaldson. He's going to be talking about debate and how it will help communication skills for our students and how debate might help the community itself. But first we're going to talk about CAMP, and CAMP is the College Assistance Migrant Program here at CBC, and we're going to be speaking with one of its students, Julian, Rangel. But first we're going to talk to the director of the program, Miriam Fierro. And Miriam, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So tell us about the CAMP program, who's eligible for it?
You bet. The College Assistance Migrant Program is a program for students who are of a migrant or seasonal farm working background, who are looking to better themselves through education and are all pursuing a bachelor's degree. So their plan is to complete 2 years at CBC and transfer to a four-year institution. And it gives us an opportunity to provide them with services that will help them to be successful. So things such as academic advising, taking them to campus visits, either within our state, sometimes in the state of Oregon, if there's budget for that, and give them just the very best opportunities in that first year to be successful.
Now, even although the potential students that are eligible don't necessarily get in, so it's an application process. What are you looking for in your applicants?
Really, for us, after we're able to assess their eligibility to be part of camp, we're looking for an individual who is beyond any measure very, very driven. Driven to be leaders in the community, driven to be successful in their classes, and driven to be able to transfer from the institution that is CBC and onto a four-year school.
Now, about how many students do you enroll each year?
We have 55 students in our program. That's pretty common in our state of Washington. We have several other camps besides our program at CBC, and we feel like that's a good number.
Now, you mentioned some of the benefits earlier, but could you go over them maybe in a little more detail with what you offer the students in camp?
Sure. The academic advising is definitely by far the most important aspect that allows us to have students through their first year. They get an opportunity to meet with that individual several times. On top of the academic advising, there's peer mentoring that takes place. So any student that had been a part of camp in their first year, returns for their second year, gets an opportunity to apply to be a mentor, and that's another very important element outside of the advising.
And the students you do have, obviously, as we've noted over the years, are very successful, one of the highest completion rates of any cohort at the college.
Yeah, it's we've been very fortunate, both for the institutional support that we've received, but just as a team that we're very collectively passionate about the work that we're doing and what it means for our community at large.
So what makes it so successful? Is it just the advising you're able to give, more one-on-one advising to students?
Yeah, that advising element's very critical. The particular advisor we have now is he really focuses on the relational. And so relationships with the students, sharing common interests with them, having the ability to be very personable, all of those elements really attribute to a safe and a respectful relationship so that the students in some ways feel accountable and want to be successful and do well for him and for the program.
So when's the best time to apply for the program? We're now in the month of February.
Yeah, now's a good time. The application is available through the CBC website. There's never a bad time to apply, really. Everyone is welcome to come into our office at any time if they have questions about camp. If they're looking to verify whether they're eligible for the program, we're available during CBC hours.
And you can contact camp at columbiabasin.edu/camp or the phone number that's right on your screen. Miriam, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be back to talk with one of those successful students right after this.
Immediately started to see ways that I can improve our company to better manage projects and to ask better questions and to get better information. Do you think all project managers should just take this? In a way, anybody who works on any project should really have project management experience. It would really help if everybody understood the concepts and principles.
And welcome back. And now we have one of those successful students from the camp program with us, Julian Rangel. Julian, welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us, first of all, a little bit about your background growing up.
My background, my family was a family of migrants, workers. We would migrate to where there was work. And well, fortunately, I've been all over the United States, all over the West Coast, from California to Washington, and then also in Mexico as well.
Did you, but your folks and your family settled here then?
Yeah, they settled here for a time, but unfortunately they decided to go back to Mexico, and well, I decided to come back here and finish up on my education.
Oh, fantastic. So how did you happen to get involved with the camp program?
I actually heard about it through some friends. It was my senior year, and we didn't know what to do about college, and then they suggested that I sign up for camp because I was a CBC student already. And one time after taking my compass test, I just decided to go for it. And unfortunately, I was actually accepted to join.
Fantastic. So what are some of the ways the camp program has helped you?
One of the main ways is having my advisor and there, because he's been a really good support for me, because due to all the meetings that I've had with him, it makes me want to impress him and actually do something.
For everybody out there, whether they're a camp student or not eligible for it, but there's changes that take place from high school to college. What have you noticed are the biggest changes?
The biggest change is that you don't have your teacher or your parents nagging you to get up in the morning to go to school. Now it comes down to you actually wanting to go to school and wanting to be successful and wanting to actually graduate. And I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges, because you always have that person nagging you in the back saying, oh, get up, you have to go to school, or oh, do your homework. But in college, you get out of the class and nobody's behind you, nobody's telling you, do this, do this.
Yeah, right. It's all on you now. Then.
Yeah, it comes all on you.
So talk a little bit about now your career plans and how they have changed, if they've changed at all over the years. Actually,
students shouldn't be discouraged when they want to change their major. I actually changed my major 5 times while I've been at CBC. During high school, I wanted to be an architect. Then in the summer, I wanted to be a doctor of the summer after my senior year. Then on my first quarter in CBC, I wanted to major in business. Then for my winter quarter, I wanted to major in electrical engineering, and then I finally stuck to computer science.
Yeah, and how long have you stuck with that?
Actually, this is my 3rd quarter still with computer science.
So what would you recommend to students who are applying to the camp program?
I recommend that when they do their personal statement and their interview, they just should write how they are as a person, and what's their motive what drives them to succeed in life or succeed in college. Because I mean, one of the main things that camp looks at is not only your transcript or your GPA. It looks like how are you as a person, and what motivates you to get to reach your goals and surpass them.
Well, camp students are very much motivated, we've noted, because there's a lot of them that get, after their first year, they get into ASB and in the governance of the college, right?
Yes, I'm actually one of the SAB officers as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we look forward to great things from you for the rest of the year, and maybe you'll stay with your major.
Yeah, I know, right? Hopefully.
Okay, thank you, Julian.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, coming back, we're going to be talking about debate at CBC and also debate in the community from CBC. So stay tuned for that.
Where can you see stunning views of stars, galaxies, and other wonders of the universe? Visit the Bechtel National Planetarium at Columbia Basin College. Take a guided tour of the night sky under a spectacular dome in the Community Enrichment Foundation Theater, where you can learn about phases of the moon, planets, constellations, and other fascinating objects in deep space. Science and educational films for a variety of age groups are also displayed on the planetarium dome. Look up into the night sky. Learn more about our universe.
And back we are, and with us is a new communications professor at Columbia Basin College, Aaron Donaldson. And Aaron, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
And after talking to you, it looks like the CBC is looking to expand what it does with debate and how it can benefit not only students but the community.
Yeah, CBC has done debate in the Pacific Northwest region for a long time. Before I came to CBC, I coached up and down the area in Oregon and Montana and Washington. And CBC has been very involved in that community for a long time already, but now we're looking to expand a little bit more to do some public debates and exhibition debates and get the conversation talking in the community a little bit more.
And so tell us a little bit more in detail of what you're looking for and what are some of the upcoming events you have going on.
Well, we are starting an organization that we're calling CBC Debates, and we're going to have an event every single term that we're in session. So not the summer term, but we will have fall, winter, and spring events. The first event, the kickoff event, is February 6th. We're having a lifeboat debate where we have faculty from various disciplines, history, English, biology, debate why they should be taken on the lifeboat with the students abandoning ship and going to start a new society. So they will have a public debate with 5 or 6 different faculty. The audience will choose who gets to go on the lifeboat. They will choose a second place winner to encourage some kind of collaborative argumentation as well as competitive argumentation. We'll have a head-to-head debate in the winter where we bring one person for an affirmative argument and one person for a negative argument. For that debate, we're looking at Barack Obama's plan to fully fund 2-year education for everyone in the United States. And then, there's lots of other formats for debates, town halls, and things that we'll be doing next year when we have all 3 terms to build.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. And the CBC does have a debate team, as you mentioned.
Yeah, CBC has been doing speech and debate in the Pacific Northwest for a long time. It's a very vibrant region in the Northwest. Debate especially, the Pacific Northwest has been well represented at national debate tournaments for a long time. And CBC has been right there with a lot of those programs. I remember losing debate rounds to CBC when I coached at the University of Oregon, and I think we lost one last year when I was at Clark College as well. So they're well represented, and they've been competing for a long time.
Okay, but tell us a little bit about how debate can strengthen communication skills among students.
You bet. The hardest thing really with communication is taking your time and choosing your words. Word economy is a big thing that you focus on in debate. Every minute matters, every second matters. You want to frame your argument just right, so we get to work on that. You work on time management. Again, 30 seconds, a minute. You can use that time very strategically if you practice using that time. And really, more than anything, what I tell my students is speech and debate gives you repetitions, reps, opportunities to give lots of speeches. If you do speech and debate, you could give 20, 30, maybe 40 speeches per term. Wow. A good public speaking class will give you 4. And I say that's just enough to get you acquainted with some of your limitations and liabilities as a speaker. Speech and debate can help you start ironing out some solutions to those.
Yeah. You work on that, right?
Exactly. That's a big one. Feeling nervous, getting nervous. Yep, it's all there.
Okay, so you're new to CBC. Tell us a little bit about your background in education.
Before I came here, I was the director of forensics, speech and debate at Clark College in Vancouver, Washington for a year. I got my PhD at the University of Denver 4 years before that. I was there assisting their speech and debate team. And then for 6 years, I was at the University of Oregon in Eugene directing their forensics program and getting my master's degree.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll look for these debate events coming up, especially the community ones for everyone getting involved. And that's an interesting way to get students to find out what they want to major in this Lifeboat series.
Yeah, the Lifeboat Debate, we're really targeting spring registration, and in the future we will have that debate in the fall to kind of have it be what's the value of this degree? Why should I get this degree? That's one of the questions we want to get into. And the audience participates directly in choosing who debates in the future, so we really do encourage everyone, not just students, to come out.
Pleasure to have you at CBC, Aaron.
Thank you very much, Frank. I'm glad to be here.
And thanks for joining us on Campus to Community. So long.